Hi guys, welcome to Priscilla Reads. So I was tagged by Shannon Riddler to do this tag video about book buying. So I printed out the questions and I'm going to read off my answers to you. So here we go. So the book buying tag, question number one. Where do you buy your books from? So the most frequent places that I buy my books from is from Amazon, Book Outlet, and also sometimes Barnes & Noble. Book Outlet is kind of recent, within the last maybe 6 months that I found out about it and I started buying books from it. It's amazing. Like the book quality, they'll sell you a book for half off and it just has like a little tiny dot of a Sharpie on the top, which I'll never notice. So whatever. Amazon's cheaper, obviously. I'm trying to go more with Book Outlet rather than Amazon, or go with small bookstores like indie bookstores, because I just know that it helps them out so much more than buying from Amazon. But I also like to buy a lot of books, so it's tough, to just buy them full price from indie bookstores, but I do sometimes do that. I also really like getting used books from used bookstores around me. And number two, do you ever pre-order books? If so, do you pre-order online or in a store? I do pre-order books. It's not often that I do it, and it's not a thing that I've been doing for a long time, but I have done so a few times through Amazon, but I also did it a couple times through an independent bookstore's website. So I did that. I know that it's very important to authors, so I try to pre-order from authors that I follow, that I love, because I know it really helps them. The most recent book I pre-ordered is by Sharon Lynn Fisher, and I actually got it on the Ripped Bodice website. So I think that's getting released October, so I still have a long time to wait, but I know it feels good to pre-order from an indie bookstore, and also I know that it really helps both of those people out. Question number three, on average, how many books do you buy per month? So I don't really keep track of how many books I buy. I also I don't want to know. It's bad. And also it just depends so much, it's hard to tell, but I did the math for from January to March of this year, and it's a little skewed because I went crazy on a couple of sales, and I also went on a trip to San Francisco and I got a ton of books from indie bookstores there. So the average was 24 per month, but I need to bring that number down. It's usually not that much, so it's, it'll change until the end of the year. Question number four, do you use your local library? I do, not a lot, and I really only do it through, I think it's called Overdrive. So I need to make an effort of going into the library and actually getting physical books from the librarians. Number five, if so, how many books do you borrow at a time? Well, so because I get it through Overdrive, it depends on when the book is actually available for me to read. If I get like 5 at once, and I know I'm obviously not going to be able to get through them in the next week or two, then I will release the ones that I know I don't need to read right away, because I don't want to be holding on to books while other people, are waiting to read on them, because that's just rude. Number six, what is your opinion of library books? I think they're great. They're awesome, especially for people who can't or don't want to buy a crap ton of books. They're awesome, and you can go in, read it, whatever, return it. It's awesome. The reason why I don't borrow books from the library as much is because I'm a collector, so I want to actually own all of the books, and I want to create a home library. But I know that for certain book challenges or certain books that I want to read, I don't necessarily want to own them, so getting them from the library is awesome. Question number 7, how do you feel about charity shops or secondhand bookstores? I love them. There's this used bookstore in Danielson, Connecticut called Pourings and Passages that I go crazy when I go there, because literally books are like $1. A ton of my Sookie Stackhouse books are from them, because I literally got like 5 books for $5. It's crazy. So I love used books. I think it's really cool, like when something has a history to it. So I love actually when I read a book and then I find someone underlined it or wrote something in there. I just think it's really cool. Like, this book had history and it was well loved, And also they're cheaper. So love that. Question number 8, do you keep your TBR, aka your unread books, separate or together with your read books on your shelves? I keep everything together, partly because my TBR is probably bigger than my read books, unfortunately, but I also just don't like the idea of separating my books. I don't know what it is, but I like to keep everything together, you know, alphabetical, author's last name. Like, I'm very crazy about that. And actually, I recently separated my nonfiction into its own bookcase, and I had a hard time doing that. I was like, but they need to be next to each other. So I just keep everything together. Also, I remember what I read, and I know what I need to read in the future, so I don't really need to keep them separate. I just like keeping everything together, very organized. Number 9, do you plan to read all of your TBR books? Of course, that's why I bought them. I mean, yes. Number 10, what do you do with books that you feel you'll never read or you didn't enjoy? I usually will still keep them because maybe I didn't enjoy them, but my husband will, or I know someone in my family or a friend that might. If I know that I hated it, no one I know is gonna like it, I'll donate it. I'll put it in a little free library or just give it to a friend. You know, like if I know I really don't like that book, I won't keep it. But I am a book collector, so I'm also like a crazy person who's like, well, just in case, what if one day I want to read it? So I usually keep books. It's very rare that I actually get rid of them. So, but I need to start doing that. There's no need for some of these books to be on here. Number 11, have you ever donated books? Yes, but not often. I do need to do that more often though. I actually have a little stack of books that I do want to put into my little free library. Number 12, have you ever been on a book buying ban? Not really. I mean, I tell myself like, you can't buy this. You just bought 5 books. You can't buy this again. Wait a little bit until you're actually going to read that book. So I don't actually like ban myself. I don't tell myself like you can't do it, because once I do, then I immediately want to do that thing even more. So I just kind of keep it in the back of my mind. And if I know that it's a book I won't get to right away, then I will try, I'll try not to buy it. But I've never actually put myself in a book buying ban. I just kind of know like, let's maybe not get this book right now. So I guess that's kind of a ban, but not really. And then the last question, number 13, do you feel like you buy too many books? Yeah, I do. But I can justify that because I get them for cheap. And again, I like having a home library. I like being surrounded by my books because I love them, and I just, I'm gonna read them eventually unless I die young, but knock on wood, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I do buy a lot of books. I need to slow down and I need to read the ones I have in the house first. Future Priscilla, listen to yourself. But it's something that it's my hobby. I love it. So anyway, that is the very quick book buying tag. Maybe I'll tag a couple of people in the description. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to be forced. I'm not forcing you to do it. But yeah, this is my first book tag, so that was fun. All right, see you in the next video. Goodbye.